Have you ever noticed how silence often speaks louder than words? In a world that glorifies noise, constant chatter, social media updates, and endless opinions, there exists a rare and powerful skill, the ability to be silent. Not just any silence, but intentional, meaningful, and transformative silence. This is not about muting yourself out of fear or shyness. It's about understanding when to speak and when to hold back. It's about listening, observing, and mastering the art of saying more by saying less. Today, we'll explore the psychology behind silence, why it is so powerful, and how you can use it to your advantage. Along the way, we will reflect on timeless psychology quotes that reveal the hidden strength in silence. Let's begin. Chapter 1: The Psychology of Silence. Silence is often misunderstood. Some fear it. Others see it as a sign of weakness. But psychology tells us a different story. Silence can be a weapon, a shield, and a tool for wisdom. Carl Jung once said, "Silence is not merely the absence of words, but the presence of something greater." What does this mean? It means that silence isn't empty, it's full of meaning. It allows for deep thinking, emotional regulation, and self-awareness. Psychologists have studied the effects of silence on the brain. Research shows that moments of silence help reduce stress, enhance creativity, and improve decision-making. Silence activates the brain's default mode network, the system responsible for self-reflection and problem-solving. Imagine two people in an argument. One is shouting. The other remains silent, calm, and composed. Who holds more power? The one who controls their silence. Because silence is a form of control. When used wisely, it commands respect and authority. Chapter 2: When Words Lose Their Power. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "Silence is worse. All truths that are kept silent become poisonous." There is wisdom in silence, but there is also danger. Silence can be a sign of wisdom, but it can also be a sign of suppression. When should we speak and when should we stay silent? The answer lies in the purpose of our words. If speaking adds value, insight, or resolution, then speak. If silence allows space for growth, understanding, or peace, then stay silent. But there's a fine line. Many people use silence as a weapon, silent treatment, avoidance, or emotional distancing. This kind of silence is toxic. It doesn't heal. It harms. However, silence used with intention and wisdom can transform relationships, build trust, and create stronger connections. Think about it. Have you ever been in a conversation where the other person truly listened without interrupting, without waiting to respond? That kind of silence is rare, because real listening requires silence. And when you master that, you become someone people trust, respect, and confide in. Chapter 3: The Power of a Pause. Pausing is an art. It's a secret weapon of great leaders, thinkers, and negotiators. Mark Twain once said, "The right word may be effective, but no word was ever as effective as a rightly timed pause." A pause before speaking can prevent regret, give you time to think, make your words more powerful, show confidence and self-control. In moments of anger, frustration, or pressure, a pause can change everything. It allows emotions to settle. It gives space for better choices. Even in storytelling, silence creates suspense. In speeches, it builds anticipation. In relationships, it shows presence. Try this. Next time someone speaks to you, pause for a few seconds before responding. See what happens. Silence makes people listen. Chapter 4: Silence and the Mind. Psychologist Rollo May once said, "Communication leads to community. That is, to understanding, intimacy, and mutual valuing. But when words are used without true meaning, silence is more powerful. Your mind needs silence. It thrives in stillness. Constant noise, mental chatter, social media, endless notifications drowns out our inner voice. But when we embrace silence, something shifts. We become more aware of our thoughts. We begin to hear ourselves, our intuition, our deepest desires. Science backs this up. Studies show that even 2 minutes of silence can lower blood pressure and calm the nervous system. Silence heals. It allows us to be present, to listen, to understand. But most people run from silence because they fear what they might hear in it. What if, instead of fearing silence, you embraced it? Chapter 5. Using silence in social situations. Silence isn't just personal, it's social. It plays a key role in interactions, arguments, and even negotiations. Have you ever noticed how powerful people often speak less? They choose their words carefully. They don't rush to fill the silence. Why? Because silence creates a psychological advantage. Sun Tzu, in The Art of War, said, "If you are silent about your intentions, your enemy does not know what to expect." In negotiations, silence forces the other party to speak first, often revealing more than they intended. In conversations, silence signals confidence and authority. And in relationships, silence can be a form of respect, a way of giving space, rather than rushing to reply. If you want to gain respect, practice controlled silence. Not awkward silence, not passive silence, but intentional, confident silence. It changes everything. Chapter 6. Learning to embrace silence. Leonardo da Vinci once said, "Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence." We live in a world that values noise, but true wisdom lies in knowing when to be silent. Silence isn't weakness, it's power. It's the power to listen, to observe, to think, to understand. It's the power to pause before reacting, to choose words carefully, and to let wisdom guide speech. So today, I challenge you. Practice silence. Listen more than you speak. Pause before responding. Embrace stillness, because sometimes the most profound things are said in silence. We've explored the power of silence, its psychology, and how it shapes our thoughts, relationships, and self-awareness. But learning the art of silence is not just about knowing, it's about practicing. Silence is not about absence, it's about presence. It's about becoming more aware of the spaces between words, about understanding that sometimes the most impactful thing you can say is nothing at all. Think about the people you admire, the ones who command attention without raising their voices, the ones whose words carry weight because they choose them wisely. They are not silent out of fear. They are silent because they understand that words lose value when overused. What if, starting today, you became more mindful of your words? What if, instead of rushing to respond, you took a breath? What if, instead of reacting, you observed? What if you embraced silence as a way to connect, reflect, and grow? The world is full of noise. Be the one who brings stillness, because in stillness, there is wisdom. In silence, there is strength. So the next time you find yourself in a conversation, a debate, or a moment of uncertainty, pause. Let silence do its work. Let it guide you to a response that is thoughtful, intentional, and powerful. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for embracing the power of silence. If this resonated with you, take a moment of silence right now, just a few seconds. Breathe, reflect, be still. And when you're ready, step back into the world with the wisdom of silence.